Week 11, Video 5. Namaskar. Ethical Dilemmas and Grey Zones. Navigating Conflicts, Uncertainties, and Moral Tensions in Forensic Linguistics. Ethics looks clear on paper, but real cases are never that simple. Welcome back. Today we enter the world of ethical dilemmas and grey zones. If ethics was only rule following, life would be so much easier. But forensic linguistics does not live on paper. It lives inside real conflicts, vulnerable emotions, digital chaos, and human mistakes. Sometimes there is no obvious right answer. Sometimes two ethical principles clash. Grey zones appear when duty to justice meets duty to dignity, when investigation meets privacy, when expertise meets limitation. Our goal today is not to solve every dilemma, but to recognize them wisely. So, what are these ethical grey zones? Ethical grey zones are situations where following one ethical principle may violate another. For example, should you analyze a screenshot that could save a life even if consent is unclear? Should you report a linguistic red flag that signals risk even if it violates confidentiality? Should you give an opinion when the court insists even if the data feels insufficient? These dilemmas are uncomfortable but also unavoidable. Recognizing them is the first step towards responsible decision making. Grey Zone 1. The conflict between confidentiality and safety. Imagine analyzing a suicidal message during authorship verification. The client wants a technical answer, but you see the psychological risk hidden in the text. Do you stay within your task or do you alert the authorities? Confidentiality protects the client. Safety protects the person behind the text. When these two duties collide, the linguist must act with empathy, humanity, and legal awareness. Ethical maturity often means seeking peer consultation before actual acting. Grey Zone 2. Unverified digital evidence in urgent investigations. In a fast-moving cybercrime cases, investigators may send screenshots quickly without metadata, asking for immediate analysis. You see the red flags suggesting manipulation. If you decline immediately, you may delay justice. If you analyze it, your findings may rest on unstable evidence. The ethical linguist finds a middle path, clarifies limitations, requests verification, and specifies conditions under which your interpretation holds. Grey Zone 3. Lawyer pressure to strengthen interpretation. Some legal teams may subtly ask you to phrase findings more assertively, lean towards their narrative, or emphasize one interpretation over another. Even if the data partially supports their view, exaggeration violates neutrality. The ethically grounded linguist responds by reinforcing methodology, not persuasion. Your commitment is to truth, not to strategy. If pressure continues, withdrawal may be the most ethical choice. Grey Zone 4. When you identify bias in your own interpretation. Bias is not an enemy, it is a reminder of your humanity. Ethical practice includes recognizing when your assumptions, cultural backgrounds, or emotional reactions affect interpretation. If you detect bias in yourself, the responsible step is to pause, revise, and if necessary, reanalyze with corpus support or peer review. Integrity requires self-awareness. Gray zone 5. Insufficient data in high-stake cases. Courts may ask for authorship analysis based on extremely small samples. A two-word threat cannot produce reliable conclusions. So should you decline it? Yes, if the method cannot support a conclusion. But sometimes the court insists on the best possible analysis. Ethical linguists respond by offering contextual insights, if any, but clearly explaining all methodological limitations. Clarity prevents misuse. Gray zone 6. Emotional content that affects your interpretation. Texts involving violence, hatred, sexual abuse, or trauma can trigger strong emotional responses. Emotion influences judgment, even when we believe we are objective. Ethical practice requires grounding yourself, taking breaks, seeking supervision, and recognizing emotional overload. Neutrality cannot coexist with unchecked emotional influence. Gray zone 7. Cultural and linguistic mismatch between expert and text. Sometimes you analyze a dialect or a sociolect you're not thoroughly familiar with. You may identify patterns incorrectly due to lack of lived cultural experience. Ethical practice requires admitting this gap, seeking cultural expertise, or recommending the case to be directed to a linguist from that specific region. Humility protects accuracy. Gray zone 8. When investigators misunderstand your report. Investigators may read your report hurriedly and they may misinterpret the findings. They may treat linguistic probability as certainty. They may overlook limitations. The ethical linguist steps in, clarifying and correcting, and ensuring accurate understanding. Your responsibility does not end with writing the report. It extends to supporting correct interpretation. Principles for navigating ethical gray zones. Ethical dilemmas demand more than rules. They demand principles. Clarity. Articulate what you know and what you don't. Transparency. Disclose limitations honestly. Consultation. Seek peer opinions when unsure. Restraint. Avoid over-interpreting ambiguous evidence. Compassion. Remember that behind every text is a human life. These principles create stability even in uncertain moments. Ethical decision-making as a practice, not as an event. Ethical dilemmas are not solved once. They are navigated repeatedly. Keeping reflective journals, attending ethics workshops, and discussing dilemmas with colleagues builds ethical muscle. Ethical confidence grows through honest self-evaluation and continuous learning. The gray areas show who we really are. Thank you for engaging with this profound topic. Gray zones reveal our integrity more than our knowledge. Tools and techniques make us capable, but ethics makes us trustworthy. In the next video, we explore courtroom neutrality and the responsibility of linguists during live testimony. Ensuring our presence in the courtroom reflects precision, poise, and truth. Thank you.